Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about Love is Blind Season 3, Episodes 4 and 5. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, y'all. So these next couple of episodes, it was getting juicy. I ain't gonna lie. But before we really dive into the episodes, I want to bring up some tweets that Lauren from season 1 tweeted. She said, I don't like how Love is Blind be cutting out the black women. How come they are always in the trailer but not in the show? I know it's slim pickings, but about 85% of them couples be forced. Just moving forward for entertainment purposes anyway. Y'all could have at least forced some more sisters to move forward throughout the show. It's couples that get engaged that aren't even shown sometimes. I think they only show what they deem most entertaining. Someone said, what do they do with those people then? Just say thank you for your time? She said, yeah, LOL, send them home and stop filming them. I think that's ridiculous. We only got 5 couples this season. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't we get like 6 at least before? I believe we got 6. So why didn't they at least add one more couple that could have been, you know, a couple with a black woman in it? And I've noticed this on Netflix because I watch a lot of strong black lead content. I watch a lot of content that is centered around black people, black shows, black sitcoms, things like that. When I hop on my Netflix, I tend to see black people on the cover. So for The Ultimatum, for instance, they'll put the black couple that was on there. And so for a show like this, Love is Blind, they might have black people on the cover, and it's like, you'll use them to advertise to us, but then we're not even featured on the show. And that's not cool. You can't really ignore one of the most successful couples to come out of this show. Speaking of, you can't ignore her voice. So shout out to Lauren for bringing that up, because that is a very good point. And, you know, we want to see ourselves represented on this show as well, not just in the promo. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into these couples. I'm going to start off with Alexa and Brennan because, you know, they really have the least drama. They seem to be getting along, but they still have this awkward feeling. I still feel like Brennan is feeling Alexa a lot more than she's feeling him. I think because he's giving her so much and giving his all to her, I feel like she loves that feeling of being wanted. But the jury is still out is if she actually feels the same way about him, in my opinion. So they start talking about their families, and these are his words, not mine. He said he come from a redneck family. Okay, they country. I'm guessing they like to hunt. You know, they have a farm, whatever. Like that's his type of family. I'm assuming they're conservative as well. That usually falls in line with conservative views. And she starts talking about her family. They're Israeli, but, you know, they cuss in front of each other. You know, they're the complete opposite, basically. They are very open. They, you know, say whatever comes to their mind. In my mind, it reminds me of, like, the Kardashians, because I remember watching the Kardashian show for the first time and being completely culture shocked, because, like, the way they talk to their mama, the way they talk to each other in front of their mom, I was just like, whoa, my mind is blown. Just cursing, dropping F-bomb after F-bomb. So I'm just assuming it's similar to that. And I'm just wondering, like, are their families gonna clash? You know, that could make a difference in somebody's relationship, especially if they're gonna get married. Something that she did that I didn't like, though, she talked about how he was basically underperforming in the bedroom, and she was laughing about it with the other girls, and I didn't like that. I think that's disrespectful, and you know, if a man was doing that with his boys, we would all be upset about that. So, especially with him being so sweet, like, why would you do that to him? He really love and care about you. Why would you talk about him in that way? I don't know. I didn't like that. That kind of brings me back to, I don't know if you actually like him, because why would you talk like that about somebody you really care about? But we'll see. We'll see what happens to their relationship as they move forward. So let's move on to Raven and SK. So in the beginning, we're really not seeing much chemistry between SK and Raven. Raven, I don't know if she just has this overall indifferent demeanor, because the look on her face always gives blank stares sometimes. I don't know, like sometimes I think she's like looking him up and down like, but it might just be the way she looks. I don't know. She kind of rushes him when he talks. She kind of rude, be throwing little digs and like criticizing him, and she kind of gives snobs sometimes, and then wonder why he doesn't want to take the lead. Like, why would I want to jump in and try to like take the lead on the situation for you to snap on me? Like, so he was talking to Bartice, and he told Bartice that they had space in between them in the beginning. So when they first made it to the hotel room, they were sitting on opposite ends of the couch, and you know, they just really weren't physically meshing. You know, Bartice was being shady, like, I would have had her on my lap, and you know, basically acting like, you know, he's second best to Bartice. And when she talked to the other girls about it, you know, they thought it was weird that they haven't consummated their relationship yet. And it's like, they don't have to. They literally just met each other. They really do not have to. I don't think that's weird at all. But he did say from the beginning that she told him that she was not big on physical affection, and he's willing to wait and love her the Raven way. And I thought that was so sweet. SK seems like such a sweet man. I really hope Raven doesn't do him dirty, because he's actually, I really do feel like he's genuine, like with how he treats her and how he feels about her. And so because he was patient, I feel like that's why they were able to finally, when they got in the pool together, they were very physical and they kissed, they made out, you know what I'm saying? And she said that she's fallen in love with him, but I don't know, it just feels hollow just because of how she comes across. I don't know, maybe it's a slow burn. Maybe she really does care about him and she just, you know, outwardly doesn't know how to express it. Or maybe she's not someone who expresses it outwardly. I don't know. I got my eye on them though. So let's move on to Colleen and Matt. They consummated their relationship on the first night, so they're cheesing hard. I mean, he's locked in, okay, tight with Colleen. There's no doubt about that at all, okay? They were pretty much lovey-dovey the entire time until she had a conversation with Cole. Now, more on Cole later, but I feel like Cole was kind of overstepping his boundaries in that conversation. I feel like he was questioning their relationship and trying to make her question their relationship. I do think there was a point in time in that conversation where she could have shut him down from that, because I'm not saying he was completely disrespectful, because I'm just thinking about Jared from last season, the conversation he had with, I forgot the girl name. This was very tame in comparison to that. But I think she just wasn't trying to hurt his feelings. I really do. I think she was just, I don't think she was trying to flirt with him. I think she, you know, he said, you know, you're a cute girl, and in the real world, I would, you know, approach you. She was like, you know, in the real world, I would approach, you know, in the real world, I would totally go for you. You know what I'm saying? I think she just wasn't trying to hurt his feelings. Real talk. I didn't get flirtatious from her. She just seemed like the type to love attention too. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like when you engage, when you're in a relationship, when you're engaged, you shouldn't entertain men. You shouldn't entertain all of that, especially if there's someone that you quote unquote dated in the past. When it got back to Cole, she told him in the real world, yeah, of course, yeah, the real world. He got fire mad. Like, he blew all the way up on her. And look, I have to take into account, he doesn't know how it was said. You know what I'm saying? Like, in his mind, it was the worst, you know, possible way. She was probably, ooh, yeah, in the real world, yeah, daddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? He probably picturing the worst possible way she could have said it. And also, we have to be real as well. If this were him saying that to someone that he talked to in the pod, if he would have said the same thing, we would be going in on him right now. So I have to be real about that. But I don't know, the way that he blew up on her, it was a bit much. It was a bit much, because it's not like she said that she was gonna run off with him or something. Like, and I know he's been hurt in the past. His ex-wife cheated on him and got pregnant, so I don't think he's over that. So I think a lot of what he's doing is lashing out because of that past relationship. I understood where he was coming from. You know, you should have shut that down, you know, but there's a way to say it. There's a way to act, you know, hollering, screaming in her face. Like, And when I tell you he got real upset, he got so upset he took his mic off. He asking the producer, how would you feel? How would you feel if your woman... Just like... You can't answer, they can't answer you. So, you know, he snatched his mic off, he stormed off, and he, you know, he broke it off, apparently. And that's where that episode ended. You know, we'll see something different in the next episode. But I'm just like, calm down, calm down. Yeah, give her a chance to apologize. You know, like, I feel like he should have said it in a calmer tone, and maybe she could have received it better. But, you know, him screaming, she started crying. It just, calm down. So then we get to Cole and Zenib. Talk about no chemistry. Whatever romance they might have had fizzled. Like, what's going on here? I have to be honest about Zenib. She constantly complains and she's very passive aggressive. Anybody would be annoyed with that. She annoys me a lot of times when she on screen because she do act like somebody's mama, okay? But he is so unserious and messy. Like, they're the complete wrong thing for each other, because she's like no nonsense and he's very goofy. So I'm just like, this was a bad match from the beginning. Cole is having buyer's remorse. I hate to put it like that because she's not an object, but that's kind of like where he is right now. I feel like he created this idea of who Zenib was, and now he's having a hard time letting go of those expectations of who she actually is, because you know, you don't get to see facial expressions when you're communicating only, you know, kind of like through the phone. But when you see somebody in person, it's totally different. And that's, you know, he's having a hard time, you know, matching up with who she thought she was with who she actually is. And he feels like she kind of beats him down with the way she talks to him in those slick comments, and I have to agree. She be doing the most sometimes. Zenib can be a party pooper and a stick in the mud. Like, he's in the pool playing around in the pool, and he's wanting her to get in the pool with him, and she tells him no. And I feel like he wants someone that's playful like him, that doesn't care how she looks. And Zenib is insecure about her body, as we'll see moving forward. She's just insecure, period, about her looks. That holds her back from being carefree and playful the way he is. And so when he looks at someone like Colleen, who isn't, you know, trying to jump in the pool, I'm not saying this makes what he did right, but that's more his speed. You know, he told her, which I thought was disrespectful to both of their relationships, he told her how attracted he was to her and that's his type. And, you know, when he was basically questioning their relationship, like, yeah, you want to get married, but are you sure you're ready? Are you sure? Like, I felt like that was like so rude and disrespectful. Like, he did not have to press her on that. Then he ended up telling Colleen and Alexa later on that he's not head over heels for Zenib. And why would you say that? Like, why would you even put that out there? Like, even if that's how you're really feeling, why would you put that out there? And you haven't even told her that. And you telling her something totally different. And then you told these other women this behind her back. So then after all that happens, they're back in the hotel room. And why would you ask this man to rate you? Like, I feel like you're setting yourself a failure every time. Like, never ask a man to rate you. That, I feel like that's kind of degrading anyway. But it's never going to end well. Even though if the man loves you, he should say 10 out of 10. Out of this world, nobody compares to you. But just to be on the safe side, you just never do that. But he ended up giving her a 9 out of 10. And then he gave Colleen and Raven a 10 out of 10. So what are you trying to say? Like, that would mess with anybody's head. Like, that would make anybody feel bad and self-conscious that their partner feels like other women are way more attractive. But I'm with you. I don't want them. I'm not emotionally attracted to them. No, none of that matters, because you just said you find other women more attractive. Like, why is that not getting through your rock head? Not to mention you flirting with the other woman. You know what I'm saying? She don't even know that part yet. I low-key wish she would have rated him to, like, give him a taste of his own medicine, because you're not the most attractive man. I see why you got divorced. I see why you got divorced after 4 months. If this is how you act in relationships, I totally understand it. You have a wandering eye. And, you know, I'm going to say it. Like, is the reason why Colleen more your type is because she's a petite white woman and Zenib is a woman of color. Is that it? Because Zenab is gorgeous. Like, I want Zenab to look in the mirror and realize you are gorgeous, you're beautiful, your body and everything. You killing it. You killing it. And don't let this man tear down your self-esteem. Like, I feel like you're already insecure and you don't have no reason to be, because you look amazing. Because I feel like other types of men would appreciate your body type. So yeah, he irritates me so bad. Let's move on to Bartise and Nancy. Bartise, you have all the nerve in the world, especially with their hair. Whenever they meet with all the other couples, he was so eager to tell everybody that they consummated their relationship and how much he loved it. What? That is so corny. Like, I thought that was so corny. And it wasn't necessarily even that he told it. It was just the way he was saying, yeah, we did. Yeah. She couldn't stay off of me. She loved it. Like, what? Like, ew. Everything was all good until Raven walked in the room and shut it down. And I have to say, Raven is bad. We can't take that away from Raven. She gorgeous, all right? I ain't never gonna say she's not. You know, she's obsessed with working out. So great body, beautiful face, beautiful hair, gorgeous, right? So his jaw drops when she walks in the room, right? And that's when he starts regretting cutting it off with her, because he's very superficial. We see that. He's very superficial and obsessed with how things look. And we're going to see that a lot more over these next episodes. He kept saying, yeah, we're both used to turning heads and getting attention. Y'all, correct me if I'm wrong. Bartise is, he's cute, but he ain't just knockout fine. Like, he's all right. He's got a nice face, and I'm sure he got a nice body, but maybe it's the hair throwing me. He don't do it all that for me. You're a nice looking guy, but you ain't just off the charts. So then they get back to the room and they discuss SK and Raven's relationship, that they, haven't really been touchy-feely. He thought that was weird. And it's like, why are you so concerned about your ex? And she was like, when I saw SK, I saw him, basically trying to say she wasn't attracted to him. I'm good. And he was like, oh yeah, well, when I saw Raven, it was the complete opposite. Like, that girl is bad. She's a smoke show. Like, he just was going on and on and on about how much he was attracted to her, how that's a typical girl he would go for. Like, we both draw attention in that way. When we come in the room, we get all the attention. And, how he cried over Raven and he grappled back and forth about whether he wanted to be with her or not. I mean, really just throwing it in her face about how much he was attracted to her. And she literally was sitting there almost looking like she was fighting back tears. Like, she just looked so hurt that he was just talking so much about how he liked this woman, because obviously that would make any woman feel insecure. And at the end, he was like, are you cool with me for being that honest? Like, no, I think you're corny. I think you're lame. Period. You're corny. There's no reason for you to throw all of that in that woman's face. That was so rude. She was over it too. Like, I wish she would have said something to him in the moment, though. She was like, if you want a fitness girl, you should go to a fitness competition and find one. If you want, blonde or whatever, you want a tall blonde, because that's like the opposite of who she is. So I understand that. But the next day, she was a little salty about it, and she started kind of like talking down on Raven, saying like, oh, she seemed like she have a bad attitude. She's nothing like me. I'm cheerful, basically. And I can't believe she's at the top of your list. And yes, Raven does come off like that, but don't be salty because of what he said. Address what he said. Like, don't talk about the next woman. Talk about what the man said. So, I didn't appreciate her doing that. I understand you being insecure, but don't talk down on the next woman. It's almost like she wanted to insult her to make herself feel better, or to get him to talk bad about her to make herself feel better. And you shouldn't have to do that. And you shouldn't be with someone that makes you feel like you have to do that. Later on, he has a one-on-one with Raven. Why? This show is messy, so I understand why they have a one-on-one. But he's talking with her. He said he really cares of what she thinks of him. You only care now because she fine. But he kept talking about how fine she was. And yeah, when you walked in the door, you look good and all this. And what I loved about Raven is she shut him all the way down. She was not sweating nothing he was saying. Because I feel like looking at him, she looked at him like, oh, never mind. I think she's really not attracted to him. I don't think she was just saying that because he didn't choose her. I feel like she really, really was not attracted to him in the first place. I mean, she was doing jumper jacks while the man was talking about his trauma. She didn't care about him. So she shut him all the way down. Low-key clowned him. Yeah, we're not compatible at all. You made the right choice. And she said something real. You can keep the compliments if you're going to be superficial about it. And I'm like, how you let Raven make you look shallow? Raven. And that just goes to show you just how shallow, lame, corny, and easily impressed this man is. I don't believe when he walks in the room, he gets all the women. I don't believe that. I don't believe it because you don't act like it. Raven acts like she is used to getting attention on a regular basis because she wasn't sweating none of the attention she was getting because she's used to getting it. When you look good and you walk in the room, you don't have to constantly flaunt it. People gonna tell you you look good. And you're not gonna be impressed when someone tells you that because you're used to hearing it. You the one acting like you don't ever hear it. So then later on when he talked to Nancy, he just was going on and on and on once again about Raven and how they're more physically compatible, but I'm more emotionally compatible with you. How do you not understand that's not how you talk to your fiance? Like, what? Like, not once is he telling her that he's attracted to her and how she's beautiful. Once again, Nancy, you are gorgeous. You deserve someone who feels like you are that way. Don't stay with no man that makes you feel more and more insecure because he does not deserve you. Period. He doesn't. Not with the way he's treating you and bringing up Raven and holding that over your head and knowing that could make somebody feel away. Because I'm sure if she brought up SK and talking about how good he looks and held it over his head, he would feel away. I don't know, y'all. By the end of this conversation, she just looks so beaten down and broken, like, and just hurt by the things that were coming out of his mouth. And she said she still wanted to be with him when he's clearly second guessing choosing you. And I'm just like, girl, leave this man alone. He's not worth it. You corny, and you've been exposed, sir. We see you for your true colors, and your haircut is whack. So anyway, you guys, let me know how you feel down below about these episodes. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I would love to hear your opinion. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.